Hey everybody, I hope that you're doing really good. Adrian H here, Page and Great Life. And this is just a quick pick a card. So you choose option number 1, 2 or 3, whichever sort of resonates with you first. There'll be timestamps down below just for a quick message. This is just me wanting to share a message with you before I start with my day. I haven't even shaven yet and I'm busy having my coffee. But if I start, I'm not really going to get to it. And then this weekend coming, I've got some wonderful love readings coming up for all the different zodiac signs. Now, of course, depending on when you are looking at this particular reading, which is always the right time, but I try my best to have a reading for every zodiac sign every week. So if it's your first time here, I'd like to welcome you. I hope that you'll consider subscribing. I hope that you will benefit from the material that I upload. Please let me know in the comments, like the videos. I really appreciate that. Let's get started. So cards that I'm using for today, I am using the Archangel Tarot deck. Then I'm going to draw you one card for you from. I'm using the Enchanted deck, Enchanted Roadmap by Colette Baron Reed, and by Denise Lynn, I'm using the Sacred Oracle. So I'm going to draw a card for you from each of the decks, and let's see what we got. Starting with option number 1. Let's see. I gave this a nice shuffle. I haven't used these cards in quite a while. This is quite a special deck to me. I remember I woke up this one day, it was like a Sunday afternoon, and I was living in Cape Town, where I still am. And I just sort of got this urge that I have to go and get a deck of cards. And I'm like, where am I going to get a deck of cards now? Because where I was staying at the time, which was more sort of like the central city, everything would be closed, and it was like in the afternoon. Alright, so that one came out. I'm going to give a message for everybody, and then after that you can choose 1, 2 or 3. This one just fell out, so this is for everyone. And what a perfect card it is for everyone. 4 of Gabriel. Which is 4 of Wands. It's about unity, it's about coming together, it's about commitment, and for me this is about committing to life, it's about committing to yourself, it's about committing to your greatest purpose, to the possibility of what your life could become, to actually opening yourself to the idea that your heart's desires can come true, that all the wishes and the dreams that you have inside can actually come true. We live in a really magical time. I've been saying to my best friend who also does my my beautiful thumbnails and my graphic design and my social media, and there's a link down below in the description for if you want to check her out. It says AC Digital Marketing Solutions, and very funky stuff, really. I love it. And I was saying to her yesterday, you know what, as a soul, if I was out there and I got the choice, I said, listen, do you want to go down to Earth? There's some spots open, there's vacancies on Earth for the whole 2020 experience. I'll be like, listen, I'm in. I'm in, because we're getting to the age of Aquarius, which is incredible. We're moving so powerfully from the very 3D mentality to the 5D mentality. And we're a little bit in between at the moment, so there is a bit of that, kind of like push and pull tug of war type of thing going on, because there's sort of one mentality happening in the one side, and there's a new mentality happening on the other side. And, it's like the old way still sort of pulling and like kind of, wanting us to sort of like, go the way the things were before. But the human consciousness is awakening so incredibly. I was watching actually a YouTube video the other day of Michael Beckwith, who's got the Agape Spiritual Center, and he was speaking about it, and it's like, oh, this is so brilliant, so that is actually quite amazing. And yeah, we've got Chiron, doing its thing. If you're not familiar with astrology, this is not astrology thing, so I'm not going to go into it too much. But there's a square between like Saturn and, for the first time in like 800 years, we're seeing what they call the Star of Bethlehem. There's just really incredible things happening at the moment. The world is really moving forward so incredibly, and there's a lot of things, a lot of dreams coming true at the moment, a lot of personal stability that is possible for you at this particular point in time. And if that resonates with you, and if you have been looking and you have been searching and secretly hoping and dreaming and all those things, then I encourage you to open your heart and open your mind and open your soul to the possibility that your dreams could come true, and that it could be better than you ever imagined. Just a quick little miracle story that I'd like to share with you. I've always wanted a Himalayan rock salt lamp, and somehow through the years I never got one. And then a couple of days ago, I ordered from this one online platform, and they had this beautiful one that I wanted, and the thing was just delayed, and the thing wasn't arriving, and I was like, oh, whatever. And then finally they just told me I don't have any stock, and like, I was a little bit upset about it. I'm not gonna lie, but I thought to myself, yeah, there must be a reason for it. Yesterday, only a couple of days later, I got the exact same thing for half the price. And funny enough, it is still going to be delivered because it's a different online platform now. It's still going to be delivered at the same on the same date as on which the other one was going to be arrived. That was going to be delivered. All right. So sometimes in life we feel that we're missing something, but what I want to encourage you and I want to let you know is that your date for winning is set. You might think that you're going towards it one way or a different way, but your date for winning is set. All right. So if things don't work out, or you get a little bit rerouted or something like that in life, know that this powerful force of the universe is with you all the time, supporting you all the way. Okay. If any of you are interested in learning a little bit about crystal healing, actually quite a lot about crystal healing, I'm working with this incredible sort of like international company, and I'm contributing to creating a crystal healing course. I'm going to put a link for it down below in the description. Please remember, if you do have any queries or concerns or whatever about the course, if you do sign up, you still need to contact the company directly. Okay, you can't contact me. All right. So 1, 2, or 3. Let's get started. Let's get started. So number 1, we've got the 6 of Ariel. This is such a beautiful card. To me, it always speaks about hope. Also, Ariel is the angel about sort of manifestation, abundance, prosperity within your earth realm of being, with the soul having a human being experience. Also with number 6, obviously if you turn number 6 around, it becomes number 9. So it speaks about possibility, of the wonderful thing of how things can actually come about. And if you look at this card, you'll see it's almost like there's the scales going on there, almost like a balance, all right? Very Libra sort of energy. And it says, let me just see what it says on the card. She's got beautiful circles over there. I don't know if you can see it. And sort of like light shining through there, which is a lot for me about hope and prosperity and abundance, okay? Being pink, a very retro color. Material needs get fulfilled in magical and unexpected ways. Acts of kindness, giving and receiving with a grateful heart. And I want you to understand, when things start to work out for you, and beautifully open up for you, I want you to understand that nothing in this universe happens by chance. Nothing in this world happens by chance. Whatever comes to you, it is a mirror reflection of what's happening inside of you. All right. So when life starts to expand, remember, it is the beauty that's shining up from within you. Remember to be grateful. Remember to, to practice abundance of the soul, to take the quiet time out. Remember, when things start to go well, do not get so into the happy things that you forget to take the quiet time out, that you forget to, to meditate and pray and whatever it is that you do, maybe go for a beautiful walk, or in my case, I like to go for a run, that you can just connect. Funny thing about going for a run, because obviously at the moment, everybody's wearing masks. So I remember a couple of months ago, after we came out of the hard lockdown in Cape Town in South Africa, I said I was going to go for a run. So I went for a run wearing this mask, and I had to stand against the wall. I was like, oh my God, oh my goodness, I'm going to die. I couldn't breathe. I was like, yeah, I'm coming home. I'm coming back. Okay. But speaks of a lot of prosperity, a lot of abundance, and also a lot of your outside world, the world around you, your physical, world, expanding quite a lot. A lot of blessings. I feel that it almost seems like we were dormant, like you never really thought that it might come your way. Sort of like maybe projects, that seem they're never going to get more than just further off the ground. Those things are blooming right now, and they are blooming because it is you. All right, gonna have a sip of coffee. Gotta like the Java. Gotta have me some Java, man. Gotta have me some Java. All right, let's draw you an oracle card. It popped right around, and it says heal the ouch. All right, these are those things that are holding us back from our prosperity and of our flow in life. All right. These are now. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sort of like, blowing off the things that happened to you in life before, because I think all of us, every single human being, really has some sort of experience of something that really hurt you, something that that really kind of broke your heart. And the simple truth about this, now I want you to understand that I'm not being unsympathetic, but the simple truth of the matter is every single person on this planet, whether you were born in a slum or whether you were born in a castle or, whatever, everybody has got a story to tell as to why it is that you can't make it. Because this happened, because that happened, because this is so sad, because that is so sad. We all have that story. I've got it, you've got it, everybody's got it. It's time to understand that those are healing curves. It's time to accept that as a soul, you chose the life incarnation that is going to serve you optimally for your growth, for your expansion. All right? Forgive others, forgive yourself, forgive your parents. Understand that they did the best that they possibly knew how. All right? Forgive the people that did the really challenging things to you. All right? I remember a couple of years ago, I'm not going to give too many specifics because I don't want it to be able to be pinpointed towards someone, but I had an experience where I got myself into a tight spot and I was sexually harassed, like I was raped. And many years later, through my healing, I could come to understand how I have contributed to placing myself within that situation. And it is an understanding that you can move forward in life. All right. So let the past go. A lot of people sometimes need to do things in order for us to move forward. Okay. It's not always easy, and it doesn't mean that we say whatever whoever did was okay. But don't hold yourself in bondage for the rest of your life over things that happened to you. Okay. Forgive others. Forgive yourself. Forgive others for not having known better at the time. It's like our parents, as we said. They only do the best they know how, because we come from generations to generation, from generations and generations. I always say that human beings is like, it's like one big recycling project. The same way that you've got in your DNA a certain sort of message. In your pathology, you've got a certain sort of message. If your parents didn't know better, they couldn't teach you better. And look at what we have here from the Sacred Traveler. It says, first light, beginning a new cycle. So this is something new and something magical that's happening for you. All right. And if we can just recapture for you quickly. So 6 of Ariel being your initial card, this speaks about abundance and a possibility. And when we speak about this, this is a window of opportunity for you at this particular point in time to experience abundance. You've done a lot of the healing. It's time for you to experience the positive return of a lot of the things that you've put out there. It's time for you to experience that. Open your heart to that. Sometimes we want to give what we don't want to receive. And by doing that, you actually create imbalance. All right? There we go. Heal the ouch. It's time to forgive the past and to let it go so that you can thrive. And confirmation for your first light. Things are coming, things are rocking, things are beginning, things are starting to happen. All right? May the message serve you abundantly in absolutely beautiful ways. Let's go to number 2. So number 2, it says decisions with Archangel Jophiel. All right? And same as we had actually in the number 1 reading, which was just a straight out number 6. 1 plus 5 equals 6. And 6 always speaks about things becoming more. And this card says, release yourself from that which holds you back. A need to detox unnecessary worry based on a lack of self-confidence. And I want to speak to you about this lack of self-confidence just for a little moment. Now, for those of you that have been following my channel for a while or that know me personally, you know that I'm very confident in what I do, and I really love what I do, and I'm very passionate about what I do, and I'm very good at what I do, because I've got a love for it. It comes from my heart. But then when I started working on this course that I'm telling you about, there's a link in the description for it, this crystal healing course, I suddenly found myself very much out of my depth. And, suddenly I wasn't very confident. And I was really beginning to doubt myself, And I said to myself, okay, So this is how you are feeling at this particular point in time. Let's look at this. Let's unpack this. So instead of blaming others, which I did for a little while actually, so instead of blaming others and instead of blaming life and, blaming everything that we always blame, how about, I just sit with this for a moment. I look at it honestly from a loving point of loving myself and say, okay, so life goes in steps. So, and before you can go to a next step, there's usually some sort of, I don't know what you want to call it, final exam that you need to write, So I'm like, okay, so I actually, I obviously came to exam time. Why am I having these feelings? Why am I having this experience? Why am I having these emotions? Why am I doubting myself? Why am I suddenly so unhappy? Or like tripping all over the place. And I realized that I feel out of my depth, that I'm starting to doubt myself, that I'm comparing myself to others, and that in itself isn't good for my confidence. And so what I actually did is I purchased myself an online course by Kane Ramsey, who's actually amazing. He's so amazing. And as I was looking through it, I just realized I've come to a point where it's time for me to grow. It's time for me to go to the next step. And now I'm all flowing again, And it's important to understand that I think there's a sort of like a expectation, almost like, I think like, when you're like a spiritualist or like a teacher or I don't know, like a reverend or anything like that you're always supposed to have life together, but we are all in the process of becoming. All right. I always say that we are all sort of like, we're all having the paintbrush, painting the masterpiece, busy becoming, but we are the masters already, painting the masterpiece. We're all contributing to life together. All right. And as you can see, this is about especially if you're feeling sort of like trapped at the moment, or sort of like a sense of discomfort or uncomfortable, or you're trapped or whatever, it's actually time to fly. When we see those people, around us sometimes that seem to be doing so much better than us, that just make it seem so easy, that they're just thriving. Remember that we are all one, that we are all connected. And those people are showing to us often that, hey, it's time for you to fly. It's time for you to to go to your next level, to sort of level up. It's time for you to spread your wings. The time has arrived for you at this particular point in time to just shine. Okay, let's see what we have for you everything is ready. The garden is ready. The skies are clear. For those of you that have broken wings, your wings have healed. Those are too many cards. Your wings have healed. It's time for you to fly. Wizard of Awareness. How incredible! Also there with number 3, and remember we had number 6 initially. All right. So this is breaking it down. Number 3, mind, body, spirit, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, however you want to call it. This is the powerful Trinity that is within all of us. It is a reminder that you are soul having a human being experience. You are an expression of source. You are an expression of possibility. And you are also, by embracing that expression of possibility that you are expressing forwards, outwards. All right? And this is you, and this is your call. If you look at this, I'm pretty certain that you had a feeling somewhere, almost like in your gut or in your sense somehow, that there's something more coming, there's something better coming, there's something bigger on the table for you at this particular point in time. And you know what? You're absolutely right. Okay. All right. And card coming out says rejuvenating rain, clear the past and heal the present. So this seems to be quite a general message for all of us at the moment. It's about letting go. It's about releasing. It's about cleansing. Even within yourself. Maybe that step that you always wanted to take, that holiday that you always wanted to take, obviously being safe. But whatever it is that you wanted to take, maybe that course, that online course, that project you wanted to start, that book that you wanted to start writing, or the book that you wrote that that you still need to go through editing or give it to a publisher or whatever, put it in the newspaper. It's time for you to do those things. It's time for you to set those dreams free, to release them, to no longer just keep them inside as hopes and dreams, but to actually have them turn into reality because you got this. All right. Number 3. So number 3, we've got the Queen of Michael. Michael being, you know, the Archangel, very much of sort of helping us go to that next level, release what doesn't serve us in a positive way anymore. And this card says brilliant, self-reliant, insightful, and humorous. And it says you know exactly what to do, the benefit of experience, a time for your career rather than relationships. Okay. I just want to stop you there for a moment when you speak about relationships. This doesn't have to mean romantic relationships specifically. It doesn't mean that if you're with somebody and you really like them, you've got to dump them now because Adrian from South Africa said it's not time for relationships right now. I'm sorry, baby, it's time for my career. You got to go. I love you forever, but, you know, bye, bye, bye. That's not what we're talking about. This is about, you know, putting down sort of like the pie in the sky mentality and really doing the work. All right. I actually quite really, you know, I really quite like this card because it's got this beautiful yellow roses over there that speaks about hope. And it's a reminder that you can really commit to life. You can really commit to your career. Maybe you've got a business that's very stressful, like a restaurant, for example, you know, or I don't know, like online packaging, something like that, you know. But it reminds you that you can be that you can be really powerful and that you're actually more powerful when you come from a point of love, when you come from a point of full support, when you put that kindness in there, when you keep that human connection in there, you know. I know that when you work with people, it's not always the easiest thing because people can be incredibly challenging, you know. Sorry, let me have some coffee. It's very early in the morning. Yum, yum, yum. Sounds like my neighbors are having smoothies. Maybe I should have one myself as well. Anyway, so for example, somebody that I really, really like and that speaks about it quite a lot is Simon Sinek. And he speaks about how to be a good leader, you know, and there's quite a skill to it. And not just when you are leading others, but also when you're leading yourself, because sometimes in life, you know, we ambitious and you know we embrace life and all those wonderful things, but we sort of forget sometimes about the balance. We think that being ambitious means that you have to overly drive yourself, you know, work yourself straight into like a heart attack and that sort of stuff. And when you think about it, that is not really balanced, that is not really flow, that is not really healthy. All right. So this card reminds you that, you know, this is a period of making those decisions about all areas of life, really. You know, Queen of Swords, actually, this particular card, if you wanted to know. And it reminds you that, you know, when it comes to being a powerful leader, when it comes to really taking the lead, it first starts with you. But it's also when we, you know, it's in a sense it's time for you to start showing your healing that you've done. You know, some of you may have like, you know, been healing a little bit on your own, keeping it kind of private. And it doesn't mean that you have to start pulling up, you know, kind of putting up, you know, boards and signs and everything everywhere up there saying, I am healed. You know, behold the healed one. That's not what we are talking about. But it is that compassion that you have can start shining through. Those lessons that you learned can start shining through. You know, that work that you maybe just did for yourself. It's time to almost like, if you think like somebody who sets up like I remember a couple of years ago, I saw this beautiful, beautiful garden. I was still a child. But, you know, people had this massive sort of garden. And there was like a barbecue spot right in the middle, and then they had all these beautiful lights along the way, and there was like fountains of and there were, if it was my garden, I would probably put in a couple of fairies and angels and things as well. But so it was all really, really beautiful there, and the water was like standing still. And then, you know, this guy asked me, are you ready for something magical? And he switched it on. And, you know, the lights were there underneath the water. Actually, it was on the side of the water. This beautiful little goblin looking like lights, like a, you know, like a Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs type of vibe. But then the water was flowing and there was like a little windmill type of vibe. And it was so beautiful. And this card really comes down to that, you know. Everything has been beautifully set up for you within yourself. It is time for you to switch the system on, for people to see your beauty, to shine, to take your place, you know, to take the leadership role that you were born for. All right. To just let your inner light shine. Let me see what we've got for you from the Enchanted Map Oracle. This one flipped right around. two cards flipped around actually. So the one says storm fields. And so there might be a little bit of an inner contradiction happening for you at the moment. But also, there's quite a big cleansing period taking place for you at the moment, you know. For any of you that ever experienced a beautiful rainstorm before, and I actually quite like them, being from the country, and there's always that beautiful refreshing smell afterwards. It's like you've got a cleaner connection to the earth, like, you know, like the earth can connect better to you and you can connect better to the earth. And so things might be a little bit like sort of like, you know, tumultuous for you at the moment, but it's that cleansing out period. It's almost like everything that's happening with the planet at the moment, or with our, you know, incarnation at the moment. There's one sort of pull on this side and there's one sort of pull on this side, and one's like, I'm winning, and I was like, I'm winning. I was like, no, you back off it. No, you back off it. You know. But then where you are at the moment, remember, every storm has got an eye, and you can find the peace within the eye of the storm. All right. And then the card that came out after that, Sacred Pool. And this is letting you know that this reminds you about your manifestation power. It reminds you about your infinite possibility, your grandeur of who you actually are. You know, you're not just a human being. You're not just another person. You're not a mistake. You're not some, you know, person that was just dumped here on earth. And I mean, there was a time when I myself had this belief that I was pretty convinced that I was saying that I am convinced that God must be, you know, a little bit low vibing sometimes, or maybe make some mistakes or slacked off or whatever, because I believe that my life, my incarnation, me being me, was irrefutable proof of the fact that God makes mistakes, because I was convinced that I'm a mistake. All right? And you couldn't convince me otherwise. And it's literally when I hit rock bottom, and, you know, I was literally, some of you would have heard me say this before, but, you know, I was literally to the point where I was writing my farewell letters. I was ready to chuck myself. I didn't want to be saved. You know, I had like 850 tablets in my backpack. I had a bottle of vodka in my backpack. I thoroughly researched how to, you know, end your own life. I had every intention of succeeding. But it was when I hit that rock bottom where I realized, you know, there must be a better way, because I realized there were certain things that I still wanted to do in life. And I want to encourage you, if you are at that particular point in time in life, I know that people always say, like, you know, maybe it's a little bit corny, but literally, if I could make it, then so can you. All right. I know many beautiful people that got themselves out of a space where they thought there was no hope, and if I could do it, and if they could do it, then you can do it. You've got what it takes. Okay. All right. So let's finish off for you with a sacred oracle card. No, not a sacred oracle. What is this? Sacred Traveler. Oh, it's still oracle cards. I just missed out the Traveler, but you know, sometimes in life you make a little oopsie. It's okay. That's just life. Let's, and then I gotta get to work. I gotta work. You got two cards again. So the first one that came out, it says, uncovering treasure beneath the surface lies great bounty. All right. There are certain things that you will learn at rock bottom that you will never, ever, ever learn on a mountaintop. Never, ever, ever. However, you want to be mindful of getting too into that, because you don't also want to be that whole thing, like, you know, you don't want to become that strong person that can suffer through anything, and I'm so powerful, nothing in life can get me under, because then you actually create problems for yourself. All right. This is about looking through the challenging things that you came through and giving yourself what you deserve, knowing that you are that treasure, you are that burning dragon, that treasure that pulled yourself through things that you never thought you're able to pull yourself through. And you know, they always say, like with dragons, it's only once they discover who they actually are that they can start breathing fire. So this is a time for you to really embrace who you are, so you can start breathing fire, because the world needs your magic. All right. And then the second card says, navigating by the stars, follow your bliss. All right. This is you. And if any of you have actually been interested in astrology, for example, or how the world works, or how the flow works, this is what this is speaking about. All right. Or just knowing that there's a flow through life that can take you everything, it can give you everything. And that's it. I'll see you next time.